Hey everybody, Josh here for Whiskey Wednesday for Argonaut Wine and Liquor. Today I'm joined by a special guest, Mr. Danny from the Family Jones Distillery. One of my favorite local distilleries located just up the road here in the Highlands. I'm a frequenter of their spot. If you guys haven't been, definitely need to check it out. We have some really cool spirits here for you guys today. First one in the glass is the Family Jones Juniper Jones Earl Grey Barrel Aged Gin. You want to tell us a little bit about this one?
Yeah, salud.
Yep.
So this gin is our single estate gin. It's an American style gin, the base. So the juniper is distilled separately from our botanical blend. Then from there, it is a barrel share with Tico over in Wheat Ridge. What Tico does is they take empty Ella Jones bourbon barrels and they stuff them full of loose leaf Earl Grey tea leaves. They'll age those leaves in there for about a month and a half, 2 months. Give us back that tea seasoned whiskey cask and we put our lovely gin in there. Comes out looking like this. I really love this in the summertime, just mixed with lemonade.
Yeah, that's great. I was actually at a birthday party the other day for a 1-year-old. Her name is Juniper, and we made gin and tonics with this, and they were fantastic. They were really good. Great summer cocktail.
If you do it as a G&T, I really like it with an elderflower tonic. Kind of brings out the floral qualities of the tea. But really fun to use in whiskey cocktails too. You can sub it out, and the gin itself in the bottle has some obviously gin notes, but whiskey notes, and then also Earl Grey tea notes. So cheers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great. I mean, you get the barrel characteristic, which, you know, in a gin is kind of interesting. Some of those caramel vanillas like you would in a whiskey, but the Earl Grey, you know, the tea note is really pronounced. And, you know, the juniper it's not like it's muted or not there, but it isn't overpowering. It's definitely a balanced gin.
Yeah, it's not leading the parade.
Exactly.
Right. And then, you wouldn't normally think of a sipping gin, but another way that I like to enjoy this is just on a big whiskey cube with a little twist of lemon zest.
Ooh, yeah, absolutely. And in the G&Ts we made, we threw like a sprig of rosemary in it.
Yeah, perfect.
Brought out some of the, you know, those tea notes. It was really, really good. So this is a great one.
Thank you.
Yeah, up next we've got Ella Jones Bourbon.
Yeah. So Ella will be our Colorado straight bourbon. And folks, the hands on our labels mean this is all handmade in Colorado. So the products that we're going to be tasting today are going to be distilled from grains grown by Colorado family farmers using regenerative agriculture. So build up the soil quality, you'll grow better grains, right? And then better grains obviously in turn make better spirits.
Yeah, and how long is this guy in the barrel?
This is a blend of 14 barrels from our barrel house. Youngest in there is 3.75 years. Oldest in there is not quite 6 years. So average age of all of them together is about 4.5 years.
Right. Really fun, kind of cakey confectionery sweetness on the nose.
I get a little bit of spice from the rye, and I get kind of like a black cherry, dark cherry notes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely some red fruit in there. You know, as always, the caramels, the vanillas, but, you know, just a great, awesome sipping bourbon.
Thank you. And, you know, I can take no credit. It's all our distilling team and then obviously, again, our farmers.
Yeah. And then up next, you want to tell us a little bit about Atticus?
Absolutely. So Atticus Jones will mirror the mash bill for Ella Jones. So Ella will be 75% corn, 15% rye, and 10% malted barley. Whereas Atticus is going to be 75% rye and 15% corn with 10% malted barley. So a lot of the ryes that you'll see on the market, they tend to be 90, 95, even 100% rye. So being down at 75 and making up that difference with a little bit of sweet corn here, it's a more sipping rye whiskey. But if you like Manhattans or Old Fashions, it makes a lovely one as well.
I was about to say, I mean, the nose is super floral, super herbaceous. You know, that's something that would go great in a Manhattan because it would balance out the sweetness of the, you know, sweet vermouth, and I just love the nose on that.
That's a Renza Abruzzi rye here is going to give it that kind of floral note, that quality that you were talking about, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, super smooth. You get a little bit of that rye spice right on the mid palate, but, you know, super good. Got a little bit of that dilly rye note, you know, but it's not a punch in your face rye. It's a little bit softer.
Yeah, and again, that speaks to the grain quality and then also the different varietals, right? We say, you know, buy your grains, support a community, not a commodity. And so commodity rye tends to be real heavy, spicy black pepper, but by using these kind of small batch and, you know, locally grown grains, you get a lot more complexity from them, right? Do you want spice? Do you want floral? Do you want fruity? Do you want dark chocolatey, right?
Yeah, and then another thing I love that you guys do, you do a lot of pre-made cocktails.
Yeah.
And can you tell like a little bit of the story about how these kind of came about?
Absolutely. So the one that started it all really back in 2017 was the kind of started the Automatic Jones line is going to be our Rock and Rye. And that was our most popular cocktail at our Spirit House, as Josh mentioned, over in the Highlands neighborhood on 33rd and Osage Street. The smoked old fashioned, we also have a Cosmopolitan and a Negroni made with our Earl Grey tea infused gin. Those were kind of pushed into the world during the COVID shutdown, right? When you couldn't come to our bar, we decided, well, let's scale up our best sellers. Let's bring the cocktail bar to the people. And so that's kind of what's lasted as we've kind of come out of the pandemic is, people want that convenience of having a great cocktail and not having to take an Uber or tip a bartender or do really much of the work for it. I mean, we call it Automatic Jones because you don't have to stir, shake, measure, or mix. Yeah.
And then if I remember correctly, you guys do individual distillations of all the different things in it and then blend them, right?
It'll be an infusion of them. So not a distillation kind of in like a grain neutral spirit, but just steeped, in this case, right into a whiskey distilled from bourbon mash.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the really cool things about this, one of the botanicals in it is guajillo chili, which I've never seen before, but that's what gives it that like smoky little bit of spice, right?
A little bit of kind of warming. If you really belt it back, you'll feel it. But this is also the smoke flavor comes from Lapsang tea, is a smoked black tea, also that we get from Tico. So another locally sourced product.
Oh, that's fantastic. I mean, that's like. There are a bunch of pre-made old fashions and things out there. This is one of my favorite on the market. And the guajillo chili, the tea like you mentioned, it's just so unique and different. The smokiness, it's just a great, awesome sipping cocktail. Just throw it over a rock and you're good to go.
Yeah, great for camping, great for hosting parties. At the Super Bowl, I had a couple buddies over and, we had 3 old fashions each. Didn't have to get up off the couch to get another one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. And so yeah, if you guys haven't checked out Family Jones, just like Danny said, 33rd and Osage, their tap room's awesome. The food there's great. Definitely worth checking out. A couple things we've got going on. Obviously, you still get entries into the lottery for our bottle, one bottle of William LaRue Weller. Anything here, as well as any of our single barrel picks, get you an extra entry. As always, 1 entry, no purchase necessary. And then also this weekend for Mother's Day, we have on Saturday from 11 to 2, we have Maker's Mark coming in. You'll be able to design a specific label for your mom, be able to put her name on it, on a bottle. So a really fun event. Come on down, check that out and give them a shot. Cheers.
Salud.